Welcome. We're going to do some meditation and some breath work today around the theme of the second chakra, the sacral chakra. So come to a really comfortable seat and find yourself in a place that that you feel either supported with your low back touching the chair. That's fine. If that's the most comfortable way for you to sit, that's exactly how you should sit. I think sometimes we get this idea that we need to be sat in lotus position and like perfectly straight spine. And if you're not comfortable, then it's going to be really hard to keep your mind off of that discomfort. Better to sink into a position that you feel like you can hang out in for a long time. So bringing your feet to the floor if you're sat in a chair and deciding whether you're more comfortable with your knees open or closed. Wiggle yourself into some stillness. And then if it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. And if it's not, that's no problem. You can lower your gaze, kind of make your eyes go blurry. Check out one point of focus, whatever helps you go inward and focus on your body instead of the outer world, because there's always lots of stimulus. It's easy to ignore our inner thoughts and feelings and well-being. So when we sit down to meditate and breathe, that's our time to really check in with ourselves. So find your breath and just observe it. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Where do you feel it in your body? Can you feel the air coming in and going out the nose? Maybe you feel it on the upper lip. Maybe you can feel it going down the throat. Maybe there's a temperature difference, the warm air coming out on the exhale and the cool air coming in on the inhale. And where do you feel that breath expanding in the body? Can you feel it in the lungs and the ribs? Can you feel the chest rising and falling? Can you breathe into your back ribs? If you're leaning against the chair, press into the chair as the inhale expands and feel it soften as you exhale. We'll take 3 really deep breaths, inhaling all the way, and then a sigh out. 2 more like that. A big inhale, filling up all the way, and a sigh out. 1 more just like that. Lovely. And then we'll come up with an intention or something we're focusing on for this practice. The sacral chakra is all about desire and creativity. So if you want your intention to be surrounded in that sphere somewhere about something you want to make or manifest or create for yourself, this could be something that you want to physically do in this realm, in this body, in this world, or it could be a state of mind, a way of being, a way of thinking that you want to create and manifest for yourself. What is your deepest wish? Can you turn it into a positive mantra? So if you want to create more space and downtime in your life, maybe your mantra is, I have unlimited time to create, or I have all the time I need. When we state these mantras in the present, in the positive, it's more easy for ourselves, for the universe to conspire to help us make it so. So we'll focus our attention on the sacral chakra. It's up all of the chakras we're talking about run along the spine. This chakra is really important for our well-being, for our awakening, for our creativity, our sensuality, and it governs the bladder, the kidneys, and the reproductive organs, which are all kind of in that region of this sacral chakra, which is up a bit from our root chakra. And it's like a little bit below the belly button. So you can imagine, if you put your hand with the index finger touching the belly button where the pinky finger is, you can imagine that space being the space we're thinking about, that we're diving into, that we're using to cultivate this creativity. And the color for the sacral chakra is orange. So if that is helpful, you can imagine being bathed in an orange light or visualizing the color orange. And if it's not, that's fine. You can set it aside. Everything is just an invitation to let the mind focus and to keep all of the busy chatter that often runs through our brains at bay just for a little bit. We'll do a bit of breathing into that belly space, expanding the belly on the inhale, keeping it full, holding it at the top, and then a long, slow exhale. Really sucking it in, pulling all of the air out of the lungs. So inhaling, holding at the top, and a long, slow exhale, pushing out all of the air. We'll carry on like this. Your pace doesn't have to match mine. Do what feels good in your body. Inhaling, hold, and a long, slow exhale. Finish this round of breath. Take your time. There's absolutely no rush. And then let your breathing return to normal. And bring to mind an image of a crescent moon. This is the symbol of the sacral chakra. You can even imagine cradling your belly in a moon shape. This shape is reminiscent of this cycle of life and death and rebirth, or of the seasons of winter, awakening in the spring, summer, the autumn harvest. And this chakra's element is the water element. So we are mostly water, right? Our cells require water to function. And we get our water, obviously, from what we drink, from the foods we eat. And this chakra really refreshes our body. And so hydration is so super important. It's very difficult to be awake and creative if we are dehydrated, either physically from not drinking enough water or emotionally from not taking in the positive energy and the light of others and what's around us that we need to be our best manifestations of ourself. So this chakra governs joy and pleasure. And so we'll start with cultivating these emotions. You can put your hand over your heart if that's helpful. And breathing joy into the heart space. Inhaling, smiling, holding the breath for a moment, and exhaling, breathing joy out into the world. Inhaling, smiling, holding the breath for a minute, and exhaling joy out into the world. We can trick our brains. When we smile, we start creating happiness endorphins. So even if there's nothing around that we're particularly happy about, this mouth shape, this smile shape, actually helps us feel more happy and more joyful. Inhaling, smiling, holding the breath for a moment, and exhaling. Inhaling, smiling, cultivating that joy, holding the breath, and then exhaling, and carrying on like that for a few more rounds. And then letting the breath return to normal. When the sacral chakra is out of balance, we can become addicted to pleasure and controlled by our emotions. Obviously, having things that bring us joy that we want and that we desire is good, but there's also a point where we want, and we feel like our cravings will never be satisfied. And that's a bit too far, and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for this happy medium where we can find joy, where we can feel creative, where we can feel satiated with whatever's going on around us without feeling deprived or without yearning and clasping and grasping for the things that we don't have or the things that are still out there that we think would make us happier. So when this chakra, and again, imagine a few inches below the belly button, when it's open, our power of creation is alive and vivacious. We can create excellent relationships. We can take care of our own well-being. We can also express our emotional needs and desires. Sometimes when we are repressing our emotions and we're not creating good boundaries and we're not saying what we need, it can physically manifest stomach ache. I know that's definitely happened to me before. And so opening this chakra lets us express ourselves clearly, politely, but firmly and in a way that other people can understand so that we're not denying ourselves in order to please the people around us. So let's do a little visualization first around pleasure. Some people really fear pleasure. They repress themselves or they deny themselves. So think of something that brings you joy, something that you really like, something that doesn't hurt anyone else. Imagine yourself enjoying that, going to that place, eating that food, doing that thing. And imagine yourself enjoying that pleasure guilt-free. I have all the time in the world. I have all the time that I need. So all the to-dos or all of the things that are often put in front of the stuff that we actually truly love and want, set them aside and really visualize yourself enjoying something, maybe something that you haven't allowed yourself to enjoy in a long time. And then we'll push the boundary a little bit into the realm of creativity, which is really scary for some people, especially since a lot of times we associate creativity with the arts. So if you don't consider yourself to be an excellent artist, maybe you think, oh, I don't have creativity. But creativity manifests in many ways, including thoughtful gift giving and cooking and creating a garden or decorating your home, as well as all of the traditional arts like music, listening to it or playing it or singing, and drawing, painting, doing crafting, scrapbooking, collaging, or any number of other things. It could be the way you dress or the things you say, the way you carry yourself. Creativity is just an external form of self-expression. So imagine, visualize your own creativity out in the world. It could be something small, that's fine. Dip your toe. Could be something that you used to do, something you've never tried. What does it look like to take action, even a small action? What does it feel like to allow yourself to play and experiment just a little bit? And then we'll work with an affirmation around this. I am a creative being. And you might not believe it, or you might not always believe it, but the more we tell ourselves this, the easier it becomes to believe, and the more we allow ourselves to just do little fun things throughout the day to show our creativity. Making up a little rhyme, plating the food in a fancy way, choosing an outfit, putting on some earrings, whatever it is, just these tiny little things that make life a tiny bit more fun and more enjoyable. So we can go back to the belly breathing if you liked that, or you can go back to the heart breathing if you liked that. You choose wherever you want to focus. And you can repeat out loud or to yourself silently, I am a creative being. I am a creative being. I am a creative being. And then come back to that intention that you set. What's one very small thing you can do for yourself today to set yourself on the path to manifest that, to make it more of a reality, to cultivate more of what's pleasing, of what's joyful, of what sparks your creativity. Come back one more time, inhaling, holding the breath at the top. Long, slow exhale. Inhaling, holding the breath at the top. And a long, slow exhale. Allow your breathing return to normal. And we'll bring some just slight movement back into the body. Be opening and closing the hands, pressing into the toes, and then the heels. Maybe rolling the wrists and the ankles. Maybe stretching the neck. Doing some head circles in one direction and then the other direction. Just gently waking our bodies back up. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes.